Hi and welcome to Whiteboard Weekly number 49. I'm Steph and I'm back with you with some more copywriting tips. So today we're going to be looking at how to avoid confusion as a copywriter. If you watched my last video, Whiteboard Weekly number 47, then this will make sense that this headline scored a nice 60% and it was triple impact. Thank you very much. Quite proud of that. Anyway, not all copy is the same. They serve a different purpose. That means that they need to be treated differently and they need to be written accordingly for the purpose of which you want to use them. So, to recap from the first video that I did, back at number 46, I think it was, we looked at the key differences. So you've got blog, you've got the editorial, you've got PR, you've got a newsletter, you've got awards, you've got advertorials, you've got so many other things as well. And I've not included writing for adverts, your Google ads, your retargeting, all that kind of stuff. That's a whole different topic. But they're not all the same. Although some people try and treat them as the same, copy is not the same. If it's PR, if it's blog, they are different. They have different purposes. They're read for different audiences. That means they need to be written differently. So I'm going to look at some of the key differences between some of the main types of copy that you might be using. And the first one I'm going to look at is editorial versus advertorial. So an editorial usually should be research based. It should involve external quotes and comments. It should include like stats and data and relevant information to the topic that you're covering. The topic ideally should be related to your industry and related to your franchise, whether you're writing it for your franchise recruitment or whether you're writing for your core marketing. It should serve a purpose. Usually you should bring in some kind of opinion. Opinion always comes across well on the page, and it should be something that educates and informs. It's not just there for words on a page, it actually serves a purpose. That means that you shouldn't pack it with all your brand messaging because that's not the purpose of an editorial. The advertorial, that's your sales copy. So you kind of build it around an editorial, but you are more heavy sales focused. So you talk about your brand, how your brand meets the content of what it is you're working on, the information or the data that's been released for your industry. How does your brand meet that? What is the purpose of that for the audience? What can they get from being a part of your brand? So it's a lot more salesy. Editorial, soft sales, mention your brand in the end so that people know who it is. Mention it in the top line, say your name and the brand that you're from so that people know who it is that's writing the editorial. Advertorial, salesy. So those are the key differences. Next we're going to look at PR versus blog. So PR is your press release. So a press release is always something that's newsworthy. So that might be something that you've released to within part of your core products or your services. It might be something that one of your franchisees has done. It might be some charity stuff that they've done. It needs to be newsworthy. So it has to be to the point. Usually a PR piece is around 250 words, so not very long. And there is a set formula. You can find this in places on Google. You can work out the formula. So you have like a set number of paragraphs. Obviously your headline is the key element because that needs to say what your PR is talking about. Your top line, your who, what, where, why, when, and how. And then you go into the details of the news items. Always bring in a quote. So if you're talking about a franchisee, use a quote from your franchisee and use a quote from the franchisor. If it's to do with a product or something that you're releasing or something you're doing, always include a quote from the franchisor. That's absolutely crucial. And you always want a high quality photo to go with it. A blog is a lot more different. It should be a lot more informal. It should be a lot more relaxed. It should definitely reflect you, your voice, the voice of the brand. It should be something that's quite fun. So there are so many things that you can write about. You're not restricted in the same way that you are with PR. You can talk about so many different things with your blog. You can have fun with it. It's there essentially to entertain. It's there to inform. It's there to challenge. Ooh, forgot how to spell challenge. There we go. It's there to inspire. So that's what your blog is there for. It's the voice of you, it's the voice of your brand. So have fun with it. Don't make it too formal because you're not formal. Next we go on to awards versus case study. And a case study is not an award. Now, award writing is very formalised. There's a set formula. There are guidelines that you will need to follow. There are things that you need to draw out of your award entry that has to meet the criteria of what the judges are looking for. Within that, you can use a case study. You can use testimonials and quotes. You will need to use data and stats and facts. You will need evidence to back up what you say. It's a bit like when you were at school and you had to write something and you had to have the evidence to prove that what you've written was factually correct. And then case study. Your case study essentially connects your audience with the person within the brand. People always buy from people. People connect with people more so than they do to a brand. So use that to your advantage. Talk about the person behind the brand. Connect your audience with the people, whether it's yourself, someone in the head office team, one of your franchisees, one of your customers. It's just so important to pull out that story. If the person is not reflected in your copy, then people are not going to be able to connect with that person and see themselves in that. We're attracted to people that we like, who are like us. So use that to your advantage when you're writing a case study. And definitely use emotion. This is one of the key areas where you can use your emotion. Pull on that pain point, draw out that pain point, make people cry. Sometimes when I'm doing interviews, I like it when the person on the phone telling me their story starts to get choked up. You want the kind of thing that you would share over a pint in the pub. That's the kind of story that you want to tell with your case study. Thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or questions, then please do comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.